Good afternoon, Westlake High School. We're your hosts, Alice Warford
and John Boccardi.
And we're here with the first episode of Top Talk. Mr. Schencker, thank you for being on our episode.
My pleasure.
So in recent discussion, a lot of teachers and students have been hinting to the fact that we might see more rigorous curriculum integrated into the school system.
There's actually two different things that we're looking at for the future. Unfortunately, seniors won't see it this year, but potentially our current sophomores would see this. So it's really in the two areas. One is with a program that many kids are familiar with. It's College Board's AP program.
Yes.
And there's something called the AP Capstone Diploma. So it's actually another level above just taking AP classes. There's two other classes that we could introduce with that. One called AP Seminar, which is like the introduction to research, and then AP Research, which is actually a research-oriented course. But it's research in any topic of interest to students. If they do that along with 4 of their AP classes, they have the potential, depending on how they score, to actually graduate with an AP Capstone Diploma. And then the other class that we are, and program that we've been talking about for the last couple of years, something that sophomores actually would be a little familiar with because there's the International Baccalaureate program is in the middle school, is actually to introduce the IB Diploma Program. Similar, you can graduate with a different diploma in addition to your New York State diploma, but you take 6 other courses plus a theory of knowledge course, and you do also an extended research paper. And that would give you, again, depending on how you score, give you the ability to kind of graduate with a really enriched diploma. So obviously attractive for colleges and obviously attractive for, I think, the way it makes kids think, both of those programs. So you are going to hear a lot of dialogue and discussion over the next month and a half about which direction should we go in. Can't do both. We got to make a choice.
Is the AP diploma, is that for college credit?
So the AP Capstone right now, you can earn college credit. In addition, the same way like students do now, you take an AP class, you get a 3 or better on an AP exam, and the college you're applying to potentially could give you credit towards their program at college. The AP Capstone Diploma would do the same thing. It would add 2 more courses of opportunity to kids.
With these different options, would they change the kinds of classes that students are taking now?
They would. It's a good question. Part of the discussion that has to happen is what would a kid's schedule look like if we went with the IB Diploma Program. There's actually a whole separate pathway of 6 different courses that kids would have to navigate through in junior and senior year. If you do the AP Capstone Diploma, kids would still kind of do what they do now. They choose kind of the APs they're interested in, but they'd have to add these 2 new courses in, that AP Seminar and that AP Research. So one has a little bit more scheduling impact than the other.
How would you feel about parents asking you, Mr. Schencker, is my child going to have 5 hours of homework every night because of this?
It's definitely comes with a commitment of time. Both of these classes really are, if you look across the country and you look at the most challenging programs you'll find in high schools, obviously AP has always been at that level. The International Baccalaureate program is an equal match. So you are committing yourself to many hours of study. And if you are doing the IB Diploma Program, which is that 6 courses plus this other theory of knowledge course, you have to think about that commitment of time. And is it right? It's not going to be right for all kids. Right? This is an enrichment opportunity.
Are there any schools around us that have gone either way, and if so, which ones?
Good question. IB has been around since 1968. Much more historically known program, and more schools in our area. So most recently, Dobbs Ferry has been an IB school for well over 20 plus years. Harrison, more recently in the last 6 to 7 years, has adopted an IB program. Pelham right now is in the process. Somers High School just became an IB school, actually literally 2 years ago, got authorized. And there are others. If you go out to Long Island, IB has been in place in Long Island for a lot longer. Rockville Center, which is Southside High School, has been an IB school since 1980. So it's a well-established. The AP Capstone is very new. It only came out in 2016. So our closest school that is next to us that is doing it right now, Stepinac, has AP Capstone. And Pauling High Schools, actually, which is just north of Brewster, are the 2 closest schools. There's a lot of New York City schools that do AP Capstone and a lot of Long Island schools, but those are the closest schools to us.
Can you let us know how teachers at Westlake are feeling about this?
So we've had some beginning discussion. There is, I would say, a leaning towards AP Capstone because we have such a well, I think, respected and ingrained AP program already here. We offer 18 AP classes. So I think there's a lot of kind of leaning that way. But there is something interesting about the IB program in terms of its educational approach. What does it get students to do and think about? Anybody who's been in an AP knows that AP classes, for the most part, are very focused in on that subject. The IB program and its approach is getting kids to see how does subject matter and what you study in school connect with each other. So if I take a biology class in IB, I'm also learning how biology might link to mathematics or history. I'm not just studying biology in isolation.
So, Mr. Schencker, we actually have some questions from the student body.
Great.
Matt, would you mind? Thank you.
I hope these are good, thoughtful questions.
Me too.
All right, let's see. A very timely question. So the question from the student is, will we ever have a turf field? So, as many students who are involved in athletics and even through our PE program knows, the focus on our athletic fields and what we can do to actually improve them has been kind of a topic of conversation for, I've been here for 10 years, and I'm sure probably predates me. And what is going on right now in district, both from parent organizations that are supporting athletics and support the district in general, and from conversation going on with athletics, is they are trying to get momentum behind putting up a bond that would be for replacing at least our main turf field, if not more. So stay tuned. You may see something in the next couple months that actually answers this and gives a positive sign towards something maybe happening in the future.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of Top Talk. Back to you in the studio.